The term adventure can be defined as an experience or undertaking that is typically bold in nature and often involving unknown risks. To seek adventure is to wander into the unknown, leaving your comfortabilities behind so that you may welcome new experiences, challenges, and growth. Adventure often leads the wanderer to find a better version of oneself. My name is Zach, my wife is Tracy. We, along with our Siberian Huskies, are the Sunshine State Vikings. We are Florida-based adventurers seeking to do more of what we love while exploring the craft of sharing our story. This is our tale of adventure found in our own backyard along the Florida Adventure Trail.
What's up, everyone? We hope you've been well. Thank you for joining us for day 4 of the Florida Adventure Trail. We're currently making our way to Croom Wildlife Management Area. It's just a short drive from where we left off at Richloam on day 3. We're getting in quite a bit earlier than normal, so we've got a good full day of adventure ahead of us. The weather is nice. Let's see how far we can get today.
So we've come here the first weekend of general gun hunting season, so I am wearing a safety vest just to make sure I'm well seen while shooting footage. But I just wanted to show you these giant pine cones on the ground.
Well, Tracy told me this shot sounded like a bad idea. I got a little bit of mud spray and now she's pretty stuck, so we're gonna have to get the winch out. Looks like it's a lot deeper and thicker than I originally thought. So let's go ahead and get ourselves out of here. All right, I'm gonna tension up. You just give me 10% once I start pulling, all right?
Roger.
Little left. There you go. All right, give me some more. Turn driver. All right, stop. Get yourself out of the hole the rest of the way. All right. See, it wasn't too bad. Try to get whatever, oh my gosh. All over my shirt. You were right, it was a bad idea, but it was gonna look really good if it worked out. It's always good to carry something like, these are adventure wipes, some sort of easy on the go cleaning for shenanigans like this. Got mud all over the camera now, nice. But, all right, well, let's carry on. Where you going, puppy? Where you going, puppy? Go in the back. Oh, there you go. All right.
Of course, just before we exited Croom, we managed to get stuck in a pretty thick mud hole. Zach thought it looked a little bit drier than it was, and so we didn't take the bypass, and we, tried going through the mud hole. But all's fine with that. We're now headed over to Citrus WMA.
We have now made it on to our first trail here in Citrus Wildlife Management Area. If you don't know anything about Citrus, this place is very popular for off-roading in Central Florida. There are just a lot of different types of technical trail here in Citrus that you can easily explore for an entire day. There are also caves you can explore as well. So this place is pretty cool. It has a lot of diverse things going on for it. Looking at the trail here, it looks like we're gonna have a pretty fun day here, wheeling in one of our favorite local areas to go off-roading. And we were just talking about technical trail. Look at this gnarly little obstacle here at Citrus. I remember a little less than a year ago, this area, this section of trail was just a small little washout that you could easily get up and down. Now it's got this really hard off camber, and this obstacle up here has gotten a little bit more technical than we're going to explore for today. We think we could probably make it up this, but the fact is we've been making our rig a lot more top heavy lately, and we don't have anybody else with us in case we do get ourselves into a little bit of a predicament today. So we're just hedging our bets, not running the risk on this one, but maybe we can find something fun for ourselves a little bit further on down the trail. So at Citrus, sometimes you've got mud holes as well, and every time there's always a bypass for them. I was telling Tracy before we even got to this one that this one I believe has been getting the name Jeep Killer. I've seen many vehicles get swallowed up by this hole, and it's right after that washout. And I'm pretty sure, look how deep this is. It's just muck all the way down to the bottom. This is the type of mud hole that's available out at Citrus that can just ruin your day. But when I was coming through here to film the shot of passing by this, something caught my eye. And I believe Tracy and I just scored a full set of MaxTrax.
That's one of the good things about Citrus, is that most of the obstacles do have bypasses, so if you're not comfortable, you're typically able to go around that obstacle. truck is currently airing up the tires since we just finished the Citrus portion of the Florida Adventure Trail. The route took us on many roads we've never been on before, and we saw some very beautiful scenery. We're about to hit some main roads, go through some cities we've never been through before making our way to our next destination, which is Goethe State Forest.
Well, we just wrapped up our time in Goethe State Forest just a little while ago. Absolutely beautiful little area. Tracy and I would have loved to have grabbed some drone footage there. It would have been excellent. However, we ended up crashing our drone in the Croom Wildlife Management Area just before we left. So that's kind of a bummer because we're not going to have it for today or tomorrow, and we're hoping to grab some stuff with the drone tomorrow as well. Also in the Goethe State Forest, we had an awesome experience with a bunch of little baby pigs following a hog across the road. We don't know if we got any good footage of that. We kind of expected that the GoPro was going to catch that, and we have a feeling we might have still been in a time lapse for that. But now that we're at the next area, Devil's Hammock here, it was just a small little section. It's apparently closed for hunting season. That's on us. We just completely didn't look into this area before we headed out from the house. We knew of all the other WMAs and their hunting seasons, and were savvy enough to take a look at that before we left the house. But from here, we're gonna get on making our way to where we're gonna camp for the night, which we're hoping is gonna be Shired Island. It's a little ways away, and we would have liked to have been there a little bit earlier in the day, but in classic fashion, we have underestimated the amount of time we were gonna take for the day. So we will see you there if we get a camp at Shired Island. But we had a pretty awesome day out on the trail today. We actually rolled into camp at about 7:30. Doesn't sound like a late time to stop, and it's by far the earliest time we've stopped for camp here on the Florida Adventure Trail. But we actually changed the clocks back this morning, so we're also a little unfamiliar with the sun setting earlier than we're used to. But as soon as we got here to Shired Island, we were starting to set up this gazelle tents gazebo, which is a part of our 3-dog solution, and it just started pouring rain. So we just hurried up as quick as we could to get camp set up, and we're now cooking dinner here. Tracy's hanging out with the pups. But like I said, we've just had an awesome day out on the trail, exploring some of the places that we are familiar with, Croom and Citrus. We've had a really fun day out on the trail, and even getting to explore some of the places that we're not familiar with, like just entering Shired Island here. Even though it was at night, it's part of the Lower Swanee Preserve, I believe. But it was really pretty even at night. Can't wait to continue that drive the rest of the way tomorrow morning. But I wanted to touch back on finishing a story about those MaxTrax before we leave you guys off for tonight. There's more to the story of those MaxTrax. Not too many people know, but this is actually our second attempt at the Florida Adventure Trail. Before we got Kuma, we were trying to see if I could accomplish the Florida Adventure Trail pre-run by myself by starting in the middle in Central Florida, going up the West Coast, and then Tracy and I would do the other half at a later date. The very first day that I was out wheeling, I made it through Richloam, Croom, and I ended up at Citrus quite late at night, about 9-10 o'clock. Not too bad. It was fine. I'm familiar with Citrus. But that hole there that I believe has been getting the name Jeep Killer, I actually ended up in that hole that night. Quickly ruined every bit of that trip. We flooded the truck very severely, or I did. It was by far one of the worst experiences I've ever had wheeling, and I've been off-roading for a good time now. I actually had to end up swimming under the truck to do a reverse winch out the back shackle here to winch backwards. I had tried using the MaxTrax before that. I had tried using the high lift jack to do a mechanical winch before that. I actually broke the high lift jack, and before I left out after my recovery of the night, lost those MaxTrax. So it was funny that driving by today, 4 months later, as soon as I was passing by and I caught a glimpse of orange underneath the water, I knew exactly what it was, and I knew that they were the MaxTrax that I left there that night. But that is all because I was out rushing. It's kind of a flaw having a pretty well-equipped truck. It sometimes makes you a little bit more confident than you should be. Now, I was never trying to go into that hole, but I thought I was on the bypass for it, and before I realized that I was actually working my way into the water hole, before I could get in reverse or get out of the way, I ended up just sinking right into it, and it is almost bottomless down there. So moral of the story is, if you're out by yourself taking on an adventure like this, it is going to pay greatly to be cautious and hedge your bets and not take too many risks. Because an adventure like this can easily be an awesome day out on the trail, or one of the worst that you have out on a trail. But we made it out of that fairly okay. The truck was flooded, the most I have ever had it flooded. We were able to walk away with that with just only a ruined airbag ECU, electronic control module, and everything has been fine with Loki since then. So we're very thankful that it wasn't worse than it was. that one night I cost ourselves a lot of money. Fixing the truck wasn't cheap. I ended up breaking the high lift jack, losing the MaxTrax, causing damage to the truck, and we also ruined our battery bank that we rely on. So we weren't too pleased about the situation, but the fact is I caused it myself. I was rushing to try to get to camp so that I could finish out the night. I was later than I wanted to be, and I should have never been rushing like I was. So, you know, I saw those MaxTrax there today, and it just kind of made me think, you know, maybe it is important to tell that story so that possibly, maybe hearing it helps somebody else down the road, you know, makes them remember that they're relying on the vehicle and it's not worth rushing around and running the risk of potentially falling into a water hole. But yeah, everything's worked out and we're happy to be back out on the Florida Adventure Trail. But then I've got dinner all prepared here. We've got some peppers, onion, some grilled pineapple with some cayenne pepper and paprika, and then some Cajun seasoned shrimp. Just a nice little islandy, shrimpy medley to go with camping out on the beach for tonight. This looks awesome. Me and Tracy are excited about having dinner tonight. We're gonna leave you guys off here. As always, thank you for watching. Do more of what you love, and we hope to see you on the next one.
To learn more about us and find out ways to help support the adventures, visit our website, sunshinestatebikings.com. And to keep up with our adventures, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification button, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Sunshine State Vikings.